Right, I've just got this set up in the vise. I'm going to drill and tap the holes for the oilers. So I'll do that now. Put a centre drill in first. Right, I'm just making an oiler for the rear hub. I'm just going to put a thread on the end there before I drill a hole up through. Right, that's the thread put on. Now I've got to drill a hole right up through. Right, now I've drilled that through, I'm going to part that off a little bit, put a thread on the other end for a little brass cap. Right, that's the oiler made, but what I want to do is put a slight bend in it to get the head out between these two spokes here. This is the outside of the wheel. The other side will be the engine. Because of the angle of these spokes, I want to be able to get in there and put a little brass cap on there later on. So I'll just put a little bend in there. Right, so I put a little bend in the oiler. So this top spoke will be over the top. This is close to the engine. These two spokes, if I come around here, you see, it'll be coming out between the two spokes, so I can get a little brass cap on there. Good. Now what I'll do, I can start now bending the spokes and getting them fitted. As I bend these top ones, I'll be cutting them off to length, drilling and countersinking these so I can then drill and tap the hubs before I bond these in with some industrial epoxy. Right, that's one lot of spokes on. You can see what I mean about the oiler. This is the engine side. So from the other side I'll be able to get a little brass cap onto the oiler. Now what I've got to do is bend the next lot of spokes from that flange up over there. Then I'll drill and tap in there and then glue them in with some industrial glue. Right, I've bent the rest of the spokes. What I've got to do now is trim them so they miss the hole in the middle. Right, I've trimmed all of those to length. Next thing will be to drill and countersink them before I bolt them into the rims there. Drill and tap the hub, bond them in, and then when that's gone off I make sure that's flat, and then I'll be able to fix the back plate on. I have to bore this hole out first, but that'll look something like that. Right, as you can see, I've drilled and tapped the hub, screwed them in. Now what I'll do is I'll just get the industrial epoxy glue, bond them in. Right, so I've epoxied and screwed these in. While that's curing, I should get on and bore the hole out in the middle of the back plate. Right, I got the back plate in the lathe, just boring out the centre hole for the axle. Right, I've machined this back plate, ready to put it on there, drill and tap the hub, and bond it on. What I've done is I've cut, where are they? A couple of 7/16 rounds to go on there. One in there. One in there. And that will help line up the holes on there when I bond it on. Then I'll drill it, tap it with those pins in, and then bond it on. Right, that's all bonded on, screwed on. I'll let that cure overnight, and then I'll be able to take the wheel off the jig, turn it over, and do the other side. That's fixing the spokes to the hubs and then the front plate. Right, as you can see, I've turned the wheel over. Now I've got to drill and tap the hub for these spokes. Then I'll bond them in, screw them in. Right, I've bonded these spokes on and screwed them in. As that's curing, I'm going to be machining and boring out this hole here, and there'll be a recess for the hubcap to go in. Right, this is one rear wheel ready for riveting the spokes onto the rims. In the next video, I'm hoping to have the other wheel up to this stage. So we'll be riveting the spokes in both wheels. But there's also quite a bit to do still. I've got hubcaps to turn up to fit into that recess. Drill them and drill and tap these. Also, I'll be able to make my little brass caps for me oilers to screw on there. That's just right, that is. And then on the other side, let's turn it over. Oh, they're quite lumpy as well. On this side, which is the engine side, we've also got the brake wheels, brake rings to do. So please subscribe to my channel and join me as I make a 2-inch scale Fowler Showman's traction engine.